All right, we're a few hours to go before this thing all wraps up. Here's where we're at right now. Rogers, 5.5 inches. These are preliminary numbers, and I know they're going to vary some from town to town. So if you see that you live in Rogers and you say, hey, I've only got 4 inches, well, that's pretty normal. Things can change. This may not be uniform across the area. Carroll County, parts of it about 5 inches. Got a report out of Gentry of 5 inches. Pea Ridge looks like 4.5, and about 4 currently in Bentonville. Those are the totals that have been sent in. Would love to know how much you've got out there. We've got more to come. Here's where we stand right now. There's a lull in the activity in the River Valley. That's going to fill back in. Give it an hour or two more. Look at what's happening in northeast Oklahoma, getting ready to move back into northwest Arkansas. You start to see, it's kind of tough to see. I totally get that. But you find these brighter blues, that's going to be some heavier snowfall rates. That's moving back into Benton, back into Washington, eventually over into Carroll and Madison counties as well. So while things, for the moment have kind of slowed down just a bit, we do expect some more to fill back in. Paris getting a nice little shower passing through the area. We've also seen some near Dayton. We get towards Mansfield, some light snowflakes mixing in with some freezing rain, a little bit of sleet at times. Let's take a big picture. Big old storm system, widespread impacts across most of Arkansas. You can see that transition line has slowly been pushing off towards the south as expected. It took a long time for that to make it into the River Valley. Admittedly, a lot longer than I anticipated. With that said, things have mostly transitioned over at this point. So now the precip that is in parts of northeast Oklahoma that's developing back towards Oklahoma City, that's going to be swinging our direction. Meanwhile, we have a pretty decent fetch of moisture out ahead of it. So we expect some more snow to continue to accumulate. Don't have a whole lot there in the River Valley just yet, but I do expect some before it's all said and done. Could be a little bit of a mix. Certainly likely is going to be a bit of a mix, but we'll add a little bit of snow on top of what's out there right now. Unfortunately, for those in northwest Arkansas, that means those roads, which are pretty much in just really bad shape, they're only going to get worse with more snow on the way. These temperatures are steadily dropping throughout the course of the night. Less than an hour, Rogers is down to 13. We're at 30 in Fort Smith. We'll hold on to 30 in Waldron out there. So quite a bit of a difference with just a few miles down 49. By 8 o'clock tonight, looking at snow northwest, that snow line, it's going to keep slowly but surely pushing that sleet and that freezing rain out of the area. And we'll continue to see those darker bands tell us, hey, there's a little bit heavier snow that's going to mix in with some of this. A lot of it is going to be light, but there will be intermittent bands that are going to be a little bit heavier out there. One of the models we use, it's not the gospel. I wouldn't put my life on this model for sure, but it does give us a decent idea of what's yet to come on top of what's already out there. Highest totals initially at one point looked to be near the Missouri-Arkansas state line. It's really going to come down to where that heaviest band sets up. This model thinks, hey, that may have shifted just a little bit further towards the south. We'll see. I think you can get a pretty general idea of where the heaviest footprint is going to be, and that's likely going to be along and north of Interstate 40 when it's all said and done. That's through 12:30 tonight. Winds are breezy out there, gusting at times as high as 20, even 30 miles per hour. That's going to result in some visibility issues, which is going to make treacherous travel even worse. Not only that, it actually presents somewhat of a unique challenge in terms of getting an accurate measurement of how much snow's fallen. Because it's so dry and light and fluffy, you get these wind gusts and it just blows the snow. It creates snow drifts. So it really almost depends on what side of the house you measure. You might get two different numbers. It's really going to be tough to tell. In terms of the cold air, hey, it's still a big concern for us. We're talking about the precip right now. We know that's top of mind as you look out your window and it's falling, but we can't ignore the temperatures. Wind chill values tomorrow morning as low as -10 in northwest Arkansas. How about in the single digits in the River Valley? But it's Thursday. That's the coldest part of this cold snap. As low as -20 northwest parts of the state, and the River Valley as low as -10. Folks, it's going to be dangerously cold out there. When is this going to melt? When are we going to see road and conditions improve? Mother Nature is going to make their job really hard, those road crews. Sure, we'll have a little bit of sunshine tomorrow, probably more on Thursday, but with temperatures like that, it's going to be really tough to rebound quickly. By Friday, I think we're seeing some improvements. I would expect some more widespread improvements by Saturday and Sunday. 60s on the board for early next week. Boy, I cannot wait for that. The other thing to keep in mind with these temperatures, you got to be dripping those faucets probably now, northwest Arkansas, and you're going to need to do it at least through Friday. This is some true pipe bursting air. I don't want to mess around with that. I promise you, dripping the faucets is a heck of a lot cheaper than calling a plumber with an emergency busted pipe. In the River Valley, 12 overnight, 23 tomorrow, 5 Thursday morning, 27 in the afternoon. Sure, a little bit of sunshine. Unfortunately, I just don't know if that's really going to help a lot. And if it does, when that sun sets, you can expect some black ice to develop really quickly. We'll briefly warm above freezing Friday. Expect better conditions this weekend. Gradually stair-stepping up back into those 60s by Monday and Tuesday of next week. Once we put this storm behind us, we have some mostly quiet weather for the next several days.